你做咩要影咁大嘅
？Hello，
？Hello，
睇下先，出咗嚟未？
你哋兩個令到我個面睇到好紅。
應該嚟入啊，有啦。
Hi everyone, someone's watching already. Yan Liu. Okay, speak far for me to see the names. Okay, tonight's episode we're going to talk about Winter Solstice. I'm sure like a lot of you here already know that, okay, it's 冬節過冬, Winter Solstice is here. It's coming this Saturday, alright? And like, what exactly is it all about? Who's that? Sorry. Annie Shin. Sorry, I have to really see. Hi Annie. Annie's from KK. Thank you for tuning in. Margaret is there. Hi Margaret. Today's session itself, we're going to talk about like the winter solstice. What is it exactly about? How is it energy is going to affect us, right? And then how to maximize the potential of winter solstice for this season itself. This season means that it will be more than just the day on its own. Okay, and of course after that, we're also going to share the auspicious dates for you to remove the 2018 saltwater cure.
係啦，咁今日我哋嘅即係主要話題咧就係講到呢個冬至啦。咁樣冬至都係所謂我哋唐人嘅我哋嗰個小年啊，即係未過大年之前咧嗰一個嘅小年。
即係要過冬㗎啦喎。
係啦，過冬啦。咁樣即係我哋一陣會解釋翻咧，即係點解呢一個冬至係點解咁有意義啦。咁樣喺呢個冬至咧，佢嘅習俗係點樣啊？或者係喺呢個冬至。我哋應該要做啲乜嘢嘅？即係我哋
應該要食湯圓。你睇我哋幾為食 ，OK？ Right, since I say okay, we talk about winter solstice and there should be this glutinous rice ball, right?
Yes.
So we take the opportunity and give ourselves an excuse to eat. Okay, so an advance greetings of like 冬至快樂。
大家團團圓圓啊。
Yeah, they must be so annoyed. They're like, damn, give me the dates now. Okay.
仲未開始食咗先。
Yeah, but before that also I would like to introduce you. Of course, Hui Yi, all of you already know. She's like no stranger on my Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And Brian also has been on my Facebook Live, being a guest for like a few episodes. But of course, I've not done my Facebook Live for some time, right? So you like won't like see them like so often. So of course, thanks to Brian because today Wai Lun can't make it. Cole can't make it today. So Brian is here. So we have a mini party earlier on. Yeah, our 冬至 celebration starts tonight.
Yes.
Alright, so yeah, now, okay, since like most of you already here, we're gonna start the topic.
Yeah. 咁樣我哋就講翻呢一個嘅冬至嘅即係由來啦。咁點解會有呢個冬至咧
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing is, of course, now winter solstice itself, right? If you look into the energy, right, into the year itself, there are altogether 4 seasons, and this 4 seasons itself, right, it demarcates into like 4 different types of energy, and of course, out of these 4 different types of energy, we have 2 different types of equinox. Okay. So the energies that between the equinox and the solstice, right, it is like the extreme energy. So extreme energy of winter solstice mean, okay, it is the extreme of winter. So now is during the durations of the whole winter itself, right? Winter solstice, which is on this Saturday, for the Chinese calendar, it's on the 22nd of December. This Saturday itself, right, it is where it will be on the extreme winter. It means that if you look at the graph cycle of winter itself, right, okay, it all started since the coming of winter, which is Laptong. Laptong is the coming of winter, and the energy of winter rises all the way towards Tongzi, which is the extreme of winter, or we call it winter solstice. So this particular highest point in the graph itself actually marks, alright, a day where you have the longest night, okay, where with the shortest day.
係
Okay.
咁即係咧，我哋講緊唐人咧，我哋有24節嘅係啦，即係節氣啦，24節氣咁樣就有呢個春夏秋冬啦。咁如果呢個冬天嘅節氣咧，即係我哋中間就嚟到呢一個叫做冬至嘅位，係其實
冬天最凍嘅時候啦。
冬天最凍嘅時候，咁通常冬天最凍嘅時候，大家如果有去旅行啊，其實你哋有啲人去旅行外國旅行，例如日本又好、韓國又好咧，即係盡量咧，即係佢哋要早晨要做嗰啲嘢啦，快啲做啦，因為咧呢一日咧
早晨要做嘅嘢快啲做。
係啦。
咁夜晚要做嘅嘢慢慢做。
係啦。
咁都可以早啲做嘅。
即係呢一個日子入邊咧係最 extreme 嘅，即係最頂端嘅，即係佢個夜咧係長過日啫。 即係佢啱晚夜陰氣咧係即係比較長啲嘅，
即係好似我哋嘅冬季咯，冬季佢係立冬開始，一直到冬至嘅時候係最凍嘅時候，and then 一直到小寒。大寒 ，sorry， 大寒最尾表，
即係立春之前啦。So overall, you see, if you look at the energy itself, right? Now we say that okay, if you demarcate energy into the sun and the moon, which also represents the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
So in this particular timing itself, right, is where the yin energy is at its peak and the yang energy is like lowest. But after that day, after this day itself of winter solstice, immediately after this day, right, the next day onwards, you will see that the graph now will topple the other way around. Means now the yin energy will start to actually recede. It will start to get like lower, whereas the yang energy will start to grow. It means the sunlight will get like longer and longer. So therefore, right, that's why in Chinese tradition we actually call winter solstice right now. They say 冬大於年. 大於年 means right, winter solstice is so important that some of the Chinese tradition we call it is even as important as if like the coming of spring, which is like the Chinese New Year time. Okay.
係咁即係講翻呢一個頭先阿 Jessie 解釋啦，即係嚟到呢個冬至入邊咧，因為佢係應該係講最後嘅尾聲係最個陰氣係最長嘅。咁過咗呢一日之後咧，佢嘅嗰個陽氣咧就會越嚟越多啊，即係會越嚟越好。咁即係好似代表就係好似一個 restart 咁解啦，即係你過咗呢一日之後咧，個 energy 咧係會個力量咧係會比較越嚟越好嘅，係啦。咁其實就好似我哋好似重新開始，所以人哋講啊，過冬就係好似過咗1歲咁樣樣。
所以你食個湯圓大1歲，今日我哋3個老咗1歲。
唔係
係
智慧多咗，係啦，智慧多咗。
Yeah, okay. So they always say that okay, this particular timing itself, right? Let's say if you look from a Taoist perspective, I'm sure some of you tuning in here, right? I've gone to my temple to actually do prayers and all that, right? So if you do prayers in a Taoist temple, they will see that the shift of the prayers itself, right? Before the winter solstice, you will do a lot of Thanksgiving prayers. Means that whatever that you have actually made wishes for throughout the year, means that if you have sip tai soi, you have like chok folk or whatever, right? You have to actually fulfill all these Thanksgiving prayers before winter solstice itself. Okay, so after winter solstice is a brand new beginning where people actually will go to the temple and you will start seeing there will be long queues in the temple where people start praying for the next year's I would say auspiciousness. They will pray for next year's tai soi and all that, and they will start actually like using their age as a year older comparatively. Means they don't wait until Chinese New Year. Means they immediately take into a new frame of age already.
所以佢哋都唔等生日啦，唔等
係啦，即係已經當係過生日咗。
Yeah, because the seasons change in the sense that now, because when the sun sets itself, right, okay, it's like everything stops to grow. If you look at nature, right, animals and all that, you will see that, okay, on the northern hemisphere, of course, when we talk about all these celebrations and all that, we're referring to the northern hemisphere. And then you'll see that even animals and all that, right, it will start to actually go on the hibernation stage, okay? And for humans as well, right, if you actually go with the energy cycle, right, before this winter solstice or during this particular moment itself, right, it is also time for us to do a lot of reflection, for us to do a lot of like, inner work, okay? So when it comes to moon itself, we will do tarot and all that, when it comes to the moon or the yin energy, it always goes on into our deeper self. The inner work, self-reflection, look into what are the prospects or what are the resolutions that you want to make for the coming year, okay? Like a lot of you might be like, busy looking for like consultation, you're busy looking into the 12 zodiac animal sign, looking into like feng shui analysis and all these things. Why? The purpose is because during this period of time, everyone will start now gearing up into like preparations for next year. In the olden days, okay. Sorry, in the olden days also the same thing. Is like you look at farmers, okay? When you look at farmers and all that, right, why they actually see winter solstice as a big celebration as well is because at this moment in time is during the winter time is they will start thinking of like how to actually replant or when to replant and what crops they should be actually planting for next year during springtime so that they can actually have like the best harvest during fall. So it's all in a four season cycle. For every season you have a certain things to do which the energy of that season itself will help us to boost okay our actions like even more.
即係好多時候到入冬嘅時候咧，點解咁多人就開始去廟拜下，或者係做啲感恩嘅嘢啊，或者係檢討即係呢一年嚟做咩嘅時候咧？Is because 即係冬至嘅時候，當你轉嗰個氣嘅時候咧，我哋開始 比較醒覺啲啦，或者係同埋點樣轉嗰個氣場 to plan for 明年嚟愛咩？
係啦，即係其實咧，我哋睇戲都有睇到啦。即係如果即係如果一套戲入邊咧，全部哇前邊好 challenge 啊，即係好黑暗啊，遇到好多嘢，忽然之間見到呢個太陽 rise 起上嚟嗰陣時咧，即係好似一個希望啊，即係佢代表一個新嘅開始同埋新嘅希望。所以響冬至入邊咧，即係已經係 come 到係尾聲啦，即係 end of the year 咁解。咁就係最好嘅時間咧，開始係檢討下自己成年入邊係做過啲乜嘢啊，或者係大家其實而家都已經開始係揾緊明年嘅生肖係會點樣啊？咁我哋明年嘅運程會點樣啊？咁大家都已經係盡快即係 preparation， 即係準備緊明年應該要做啲咩。所以好多時候咧，我哋大家都係喺年尾嗰陣時咧，就會做一系列嘅 resolution。其實都唔係叫 resolution， 即係我會 reflect 翻今年我做咗啲。許願咗啲乜嘢，或者我要做咗啲咩係
或者我已經做咗嘅咩啊？即係檢討下今年究竟有咩成就咯。
And so also because there are a lot of people, right? Okay, at this moment, of course, you'll be busy looking for like external clues or external answers into the things that you want to plan for yourself. Now, the best time during winter solstice is it will be the best time where the energy supports us to look for internal answers rather than just seeking out externally. So that's also the purpose for me to actually do this particular episode itself, is to tell you on that particular day itself, right? Okay, or night, I would say, what's so special on this year's winter solstice, okay? And like why it should be a quiet night. Now, when it comes to like Christmas and all that, we say like 24th of like December, they say 平安夜, okay? It's like
a silent night.
It's a silent night, it's a quiet night. Now, why is it so during this moment in time, it will be best for us to have that like quiet night? I mean, in opposed to what our society is going through now, is like Christmas Eve is a celebration, people go out, happy, fun, you hardly can hear each other talking, okay? Due to, of course, business as well, okay? But in tradition-wise, right, those time, okay, these are the timing during the winter solstice all the way up to Christmas, right? These are the best timing for us to actually have like quieter environment. Let's say we spend time with our family, with our loved ones, or even on our own, okay, on our own, to actually have a deeper reflection into ourselves, as in like what are the answers, and most of the answers that lies within us. Because at the end of the day, if you really pay attention to yourself, right, you have all the answers that you need in order for you to prepare yourself for the year ahead. Okay, so it's like it is the best time for you to actually reflect and look into yourself and ask yourself questions. Now, why is it so that this year's winter solstice is so special comparatively to the years before? Now, as I mentioned earlier on, right, this year's winter solstice, which is on the 22nd of December, which is on a Saturday. Okay, but it actually comes, the transition of the time itself comes early in the morning in the rabbit hour, which is about like 6:43 to 6:45 a.m. So on that particular morning itself, right, okay, all right, it is actually the morning after a full moon in terms of a lunar calendar. So you see, in Chinese calendar system, right, we have the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. And not all the time that these two calendar actually transits together. Okay, most of the time it will be actually like, far apart, or at least a few days apart from each other. But this year itself, you will see winter solstice onwards, all the way up to Qingming, you will see the transition is like 1 day apart. It's like next to each other. If you see that, let's say for instance, the coming of spring, Lapchun, which everyone is like, of course, Chinese Metaphysics students will be all paying emphasis on Lapchun, which is the coming of spring, February 4th every year, the same. But this year itself, you so happen to see that the first year of the lunar Chinese calendar falls on February 5th. Which is Choyat, that's the first day. So you see that the transition between the dates of lunar and solar, they are together. Okay, as if like this Friday itself, this Friday, which is on the 21st of December, is Chinese calendar the 15th day, okay?
11月初
11月15, okay, which is the 11th month 15th day, and that's the full moon night, okay? So on the Friday night itself is a full moon night where it transits into Saturday early morning, is a transition into the winter solstice based on the solar calendar. Therefore, this night itself, okay, it's very special when it comes to energy. If you study energy cycle, if you study into like date selection and other things, this particular night is very, I would say, you can call it magical, you can call it amazing, or you can call it like damn. Why is it so? Because you see, winter time is a time where it's most yin rather than yang. So a lot of people, instead of feeling, of course, you are very connected to your emotions, you are very connected to your subconscious, you have this like knowing inside you. But a lot of people who stop or do not listen to their inner self, they will find that during this period of time, it will be the most emotional time. Okay, that's the moment you will feel that your emotions is really like pushing you all over the place. You will feel depressed. You will feel like, okay, like, oh, a year has gone. Like, what have I done? Okay, what has it been? Okay, so and you start like maybe like seeing other people making achievement and all that, and like, damn, it makes you feel even worse as well, right? Okay, so it really depends on where you stand. So if you are always the type of person that always do reflections, you look into your inner self, you are very sensitive to the change of energy, this particular Friday night will be what we call a sacred night. Okay, it's even better than Christmas Eve. As I say, it is really that silent night, holy night, okay, where you can actually be truly connected to your inner self to find the answer within. Okay.
所以我哋愛由冬至到清明㗎咯，
即係 solar
可以translate我食口語先。
solar calendar 呢個 solar calendar 日曆同埋
lunar calendar
，lunar calendar 月曆同埋日曆咧，即係其實佢係同喺一齊嘅，係啦。
尤其是今年特別啲。
啱啦，今年特別啲。
我哋整理一下先，今年特別啲。如果啱啱好呢個星期五咧，就啱啱好係15嚟嘅。啱啦，又係冬至。又係冬至，所以呢個氣場咧係即係呢個氣場係最陰嘅時間。係最啱就係 for silent night 啦，就係你就係反省嘅時候咧，同埋即係 sorry， 好啱我哋去反省。
我係咪講得太長咧？
係。OK， 總之咧，我哋唔理特呢嗰句嘢啦，要特呢嗰我哋睇翻 Jessie 講嘅嘢。總之最緊要就係呢個拜五同自己講話。
尤其是呢個氣場，如果佢轉去一個陽氣場咧，一直到明年嘅清明。So and then 呢個星期五咧係呢個氣場嘅第一日去轉啦，同埋佢係一個full moon啦，即係如果好多人係好即係
最 emotion 啦，最情緒嗰陣時。
I really hope that most of you here can understand both English and Cantonese.
我哋侵到好犀利係咪㗎嘛
I really don't know what they're trying to say. Cheers. Okay.
係啊，總之咧，嗰拜五係最。
OK， 等我講啦，好唔好？嗱，簡説嚟講咧，其實我哋即係玄學界嚟講，有分成咧日曆同月曆嘅。咁日曆同月曆嘅方面咧，嗱日曆就係我哋講立冬啦、立春啦，即係冬節啦、驚蟄啦，所有呢啲嘢係所謂日曆嘅。咁月曆嚟講咧，就係我哋嘅初一、15啊，即係大年初一啊，呢啲初一、15係全部係按得月曆嘅。
所以呢個我要補充，所以你會次次睇係咪？即係我哋講嘅節氣咧，即係好似冬至啊、大寒啊、細寒啊嗰啲咧，你係會睇到佢係啱啱好同我哋嘅 English calendar 咧，冬至一定係12月，係肯定一齊㗎啦。總之係22號
或者21號
December， 立春肯定係4號或者係5號 February 嘅，一定唔會走嘅。至於初一、15咧，大家都知㗎啦，睇過魚缸你就知㗎。
係啦，所以咧初一、15嗰陣時，尤其是初一、15咧，我老豆咧一定係會翻鋪頭吸擔捉魚。點解咧？因為個氣。有月光，咁個水就會漲啊嘛，即係佢哋係睇月光嘅。
係啦，OK，so 講到 finish translated 啦，I hope you understand. In case if any one of you do not understand English, right, please do comment here. So I will try to explain, okay, like further. If not, I will just proceed with English. Okay, alright. Now, don't take everything as they translated in Cantonese because it's like really like only fractions of it. Right. So of course, like the one thing that I want to emphasize in Cantonese of importance, like what makes this year's winter solstice so special? Okay.
講話咗。
即係比較特別嘅日子。
係啦，點解會令到今年嘅冬至嚟講係咁特別咧？咁因為今年嘅冬至咧，嗱通常你日曆同月曆咧係有相差㗎。相差嘅話，譬如好似嗱立春2月4號嘅話咧，分分鐘好似嗱往年過年嘅話咧，係可能2月10幾號先過年嘅。即係你知立咗春 然後即係隔咗可能1個星期先至會初一嘅。
係啦。
OK 嗱，今年嘅即係冬至嚟講咧，就係嗱冬至喺即係星期六啦，朝頭早上卯時嘅6:43至到6:45，即係期間之後就立冬啦，就正式過冬。即係過冬嘅話咧，咁嗰日早一晚，即係話係星期五晚啦。咁星期五晚咧，亦都係我哋個所謂嘅月圓之夜，即係11月15嘅，即係喺月曆嚟講咧，嗰一晚咧係即係月圓嘅。咁嗱，通常月圓嚟講咧，嗰一晚夜嚟講，月圓咧會影響到我哋情緒啊，所有嗰方面嚟講咧係會比較即係點講啊，直通啲啊！即係我哋同我哋嘅 emotions，
我哋嘅 antenna 會比較 strong 啲。
係啦，會比較 strong 啲嘅。我哋嘅感受啊、直覺啊，即係情緒嗰方面咧都會比較即係勁啲嘅。咁又睇翻我哋自己平時本身個人係點啦。如果我哋係嗰種咧，即係不嬲一直以嚟係同自己咧，即係內心世界嚟講係好有溝通嘅。咁自己嚟講係好有聆聽自己嘅內心啦，即係自己諗啲咩嘢、想啲咩嘢啦，同埋自己去好分析同埋去分解其實所有嘢發生嘅嘢咧。咁自己內心世界有溝通嘅話咧，咁你覺得呢一日嚟講咧係好特別，甚至可以令到佢係好
更加清晰嘅知道
清晰，同埋你覺得好 powerful 啊，即係好有力量啊，因為咧即係個日同月咧個所謂個 vortex 啊，佢個門打開咗啊，即係日同個月啊，即係月亮同即係日光咧，個門係打開咗，所以呢一個時刻嚟講咧係特別。即係勁嘅，佢個 impact 係特別強悍嘅，所以如果大家嚟講咧，你要點樣去 maximize 呢一個即係氣節 ？If you want to maximize from the winter solstice itself, right? Okay, the best thing is on Friday night. It is really equivalent to your eve of Christmas. Where normally people say it's like a silent night, it's a holy night. Where a lot of people like you will find a lot of answers on this particular night because that is a night where you see. The moon and the sun vortex actually opens up. Okay, so if you do meditations, for people who do meditations, okay, if you do circles, energy circles and all that, all right, or if not, right, there are simple things that you can do on that particular night itself, okay, to just spend time on your own, to reflect and to think, okay, to find the answer and ask yourself questions. Okay.
即係星期五晚，如果你愛做好似meditation 啊，或者係to reflect 你今年嘅話咧，你其實係更加容易去reflect 同埋to connect 咯。
係啦，即係比較清晰啲啦。咁就所以點解有啲人即係過聖誕之前嘅前一日，即係
同屋企一齊聚一聚，
會同屋企一齊啦。咁亦都有啲人係會向 church 嗰度做 praying 嘅。
Okay. So I mean, traditionally, you see even winter solstice or even Christmas and all that, right? It's all celebrations of like people gather together as family. People who matters gathers together. Normally, it starts with family, but nowadays it's like, of course, like society changes, right? People tends to like just go out, have fun and all. It's not to say that it's wrong. Okay, you can go out and have fun whatsoever. But the thing is, just don't forget to have that time with the family or with yourself, so that you can actually have a peaceful time to actually seek the answer, because all these special celebrations are actually decided based on the ancient time where they actually look at the astrological impact on the environment. Because like in a way that like I've read articles, they talk about Christmas, okay? Like those of you who are Christian, you might know better than me, that they say that in a way that how it was announced that, of course, like how Mother Mary was announced to be like, pregnant with Jesus Christ itself, right? If you really do the calculations based on the article that I read, right? Christmas is not exactly the time because it's way after it should be the birth of they were saying based on astrological sign, because I read that, right? If you base on the day that she has that that conceptions, okay, all right, and if you calculate up to like 9 to 10 months, right, Jesus Christ should be actually born under the sign of Virgo. That's why it's a virgin, virgin birth, okay. But instead, okay, Christmas that signifies the birth of Jesus itself, right, is actually in December 25th, which is the sign of Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn is also a beginning of things. All right, so that's why if you see this, right, why they decided to actually take these days. Is this the day actually is the birth of Jesus, or it has been delayed to choose this particular day itself because it signifies the day that is nearest to winter solstice, where the sun is actually coming out, because it's it represents the sunrise, like the sun energy is getting brighter, bigger, like people are starting to see more lights, people starting to see more hope. And when I read that article, it's very nice because it also says that how like people starts decorating Christmas trees and all that is because people stands after the extreme winter time itself, where mostly you see darkness rather than like brightness. Okay, people who are very how to say very deep connected to their soul with a vision, they started to see like lights on like trees and other things. They say, if it's I'm not mistaken, they stated Martin Luther. It's a person who actually first decorated a Christmas tree. Okay, and he actually started to see a place called Black Forest or something like. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just read articles. I didn't verify it. I'm not so-called Christian, okay? But in a way that you see, he sees that this Black Forest itself, right? Suddenly you see the trees started to light up, okay? It's because also in a way that the energy, the yang energy started to come in. And when you are affected with a yang energy, right? Okay, just like face reading, when you read a person's face, if a person are exposed more to yang energy, the face itself will radiate up.
Yeah.
It will
It's
be glowing, okay, radiating. But if a person is always been impacted with yin energy, right? Right, you will see the person is like very gloomy, very pale,
dull.
okay, very dull looking.
Yeah.
So the same concept that when he sees all the Black Forest itself, right, he sees hope, he sees like brightness lighting up in the forest itself. Therefore, from that day onwards, he started the tradition of like really decorating and lighting up Christmas tree. I'm not sure whether is this the true like histories of like Christmas tree and all that, but I definitely read an article like that.
And this is how we also see a connection.
Yeah, okay. So overall, it just means that during this particular season itself is a very important season for us to start seeing lights. Okay, seeing lights, of course, in our environment, and also start seeing lights within ourselves. Okay. So therefore, now on this Friday night itself, right? Okay. Now this Friday night itself is the best time for us to actually do reflections and do meditations. Okay, it's a time for us to actually look into the rebirth and renewal of ourselves. Like
So 呢個星期五我哋最重要係愛。即係愛反省下自己，同埋做下啲產銷，或者係to just get ourselves connected 啦，同我哋自己溝通，同我哋嘅 family member， 即係心靈上或者係心to心嘅
係啦，即係唔知大家有冇試過自己同自己講話咧？即係其實
我成日都自己同自己
係啊，即係我同我啲同事講，其實我會同我自己講話，佢哋會嚇親咯。其實我覺得
講話啦，溝通啦，同自己溝通
會㗎，即係我會同自己溝通下，即係我今日做咗啲乜嘢，其實我真係好唔開心啊，或者啲即係你做得多嘅話咧，即係尤其是如果呢個禮拜五你做得多嘅話，其實有好多你覺得已經有嗰啲問題，你唔知點樣解決，可能慢慢你會更加清晰嘅。
咁其實呢個星期五你愛攞到你想要嘅答案，或者係一啲你已經係諗咗，即係攞亂咗好耐㗎啦。So 星期五晚其實係一個好好嘅日子，你會揾到你嘅答案。
係啦，其實前嗰幾集咧，我哋都係講翻一啲 clarity 啦，即係有啲嘢係你做未做嘅，係啦，所以呢個拜五咧都係一個最好嘅時間。
Okay, that's a very good point that you brought up. Is like for those of you, this year clarity is very important. So those of you who have not found your clarity, this Friday itself will be a very good time for you to actually have some time on your own to reflect and to find that clarity within you. And of course, for those of you who are celebrating Christmas, or if you are tending to like decorate your house with Christmas trees, Christmas lights, or anything bright, okay, now I'll give you like tomorrow is Thursday. Thursday the 20th, okay, it will be a very good time for you to light up the lights in your house. Okay, so if you have like big candles to light that you can actually light throughout, like more than like 1-2 days itself, the really huge ones, you can actually start lighting tomorrow 20th or Thursday night. Now 7 p.m. onwards, on the dog hour onwards. Now if you have decorated your Christmas tree that you're waiting to just put the LED lights on to light it, you can actually light it or switch on the light tomorrow at 7 p.m. onwards.
係啦，咁樣聽日咧係最好嘅時間咧，即係將你嘅屋企啊，或者係將你嘅 Christmas tree 即係 light up 你嘅即係比較光啲嘅，所以其實聽日咧係7點啱啱夜之後。
咁我哋真係補充下咯，點解我哋愛 light up is because 啱啱好就入冬㗎啦，又最嗰個即係夜即係陰氣嘅最長嘅時間又差唔多，愛轉去陽氣。So 好多時候我哋就睇到好多即係新嘅嘢啦、光啦或者咩。So 聽晚 7點鐘係一個好好嘅時間咧，去即係去 brighten up 我哋嘅地方啦。
咁有冇話講一定要放邊一個位置咧
？Not necessary. It's like if you're doing like house decor and all that, if you're doing your Christmas tree, wherever your Christmas tree is, just light it up. Okay? Don't be too concerned about which is the auspicious area to actually put it and all that. Okay? So if you can see later on, of course, why I know these dates is because I prepared my garden, which is behind me now. Okay? It has all been like twirled around with LED lights. Okay? Which have not been lighted up. Okay? We have tested, but tomorrow. Dog hour onwards is where we're going to light it up as well, okay? Because we have actually chosen the date. Tomorrow is open day, and it's a Ping Yin day, if I'm not mistaken. Is it a Ping Yin day tomorrow? Can you just check?
Tomorrow 12月星期3、星期4。
星期4日係啊，你嘅呢度日腳係咪先？係咪丙人啊？你嘅係喺呢度，我都喺呢度。丙戌 ，sorry, okay, it's a 丙戌 day, sorry, okay, it's not 丙寅, alright. So I see that it's an open day and it's also a 丙戌 day. So tomorrow itself, if you have any lights in your home, decorative things or whatsoever, if you want to light it up, tomorrow 7 p.m. onwards will be the best time for you to light it up. And after lighting this up itself, right, okay, on Friday night, okay, now Friday night anytime 7 p.m. onwards. Now if you can do it after the peak hours, which is better, means 9 p.m. onwards, it is the best time for you to actually have a reflective time. Reflective time means this is the best time for you to actually firstly give thanks to whatever that you have you have to give thanks to, okay? Like, what's your gratitude? Means count your blessings, give your gratitudes, okay? First thing. Now, why we always want to actually advise you to give thanks first or have gratitude first? Because by doing so, you feel that your heart opens up. When you want to find answers within or you want to seek clarity within, the most important thing is we have to make sure that our heart opens up first. So tomorrow itself, Friday night itself, right, okay, after the, when you enter the peak hour, which is 9 p.m. onwards, anytime, up to you, okay? So 9 p.m. onwards, it will be the best time for you to at least have a maybe hot bath, okay, all right? So, hot bath, it will be good because for those of you who do meditation and not, you can do meditation, but maybe some of us, we don't do meditation. So you don't have to really force yourself to just sit down there and try to meditate. You can just do something relaxing in order for you to actually open up and start asking yourself questions in order to find the answer. Okay? So on that night itself, right, okay, you can actually prepare your hot bath and you can put in, right, some cleansing elements into your hot bath. For those of you with hot bath, if not, you can just take a hot shower, anything, right? Or after that, you can do some chanting if you're doing chanting. If not, just sit down, read a book, whatever, or sit down quietly, off all the lights. Okay?
And the handphones.
Off all the lights.
All electrical gadgets. You can on the aircon. Okay? Alright, because it's not winter here, right? But try to off all the lights, okay? Leave only the lights, let's say you have decorative lights or candles or whatever which is blinking, just leave those on. The rest of the lights, off it. Sit down quietly in a quiet environment, comfortable, and then start asking yourself, what are the things that you can give thanks to? I'm sure there are plenty of things that we can be grateful of, right? Right. The reason that we are here, seated and breathing today is something that we really can give thanks to already. So what is your gratitude? Okay, so think of that, and then after that, reflect on the what are the things that you need to let go in your life, okay? Right, you need to let go of, because you see, the changing of phrase, a rebirth, a renewal, where the sun becomes longer and longer, it starts to grow longer and longer itself, right? It's also signifies a new start in our life itself. In order for us to go into a new start, it's also important for us to check what are the things that we need to let go of, all right? Be it our career, be it our relationship, okay? Anything in our life itself, we think that it is time to change course, okay? What are the changes we need to implement in our life itself in order to make us better, happier, joyfuler, okay? So these are the things that we need to actually ask ourselves. And of course, if those of you just now, before I forget, right, you have taken a hot bath, right? Remember, put some cleansing elements into your hot bath. Means cleansing elements, you can put your sage, sandalwood, cinnamon, palo santo. Those of you who know what I mean. All these are herbs, okay?
Actually, the easiest, even the salt can
Yeah, of course, that I saved that at the last, okay? The simplest and easiest to get is a salt water bath, okay? All right, if you don't have the hot tub, you can just shower yourself, and then after that, use like salt. Now, if you have some investment, you can use Himalayan salt or like, you know, or the Epsom salt, it will be good, okay? Right, if not, for budget purposes, go to your kitchen and get whatever, like, you know, table salt that you have and just drop it on. Now, traditionally and like in histories itself, salt has been like known in different religions and culture as a cleansing element. Okay, it gets rid of like negative energy. So on Friday night itself, it will be good for us to actually just soak ourselves in like hot water bath with salt. Okay, or if not, you have like Palo Santo, basil, peppermint in the form of like dry herbs or in the form of essential oil. It is fine. Okay, so these are the things that you can do. Then after that, now think of the fear that you have with you all this while or throughout the year. What are the things that you have not achieved? You get disappointed. Whatever emotions, remember, it's the 15 lunar calendar night. It's the peak of the moon, where it's a full moon, and opening vortex of the sun and the moon is happening throughout the same like night itself, consequently, consecutively. Okay, so it's like when you actually ask yourself, like, what are the emotions that we're experiencing now or near this particular time? Okay, do you feel sad? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel happy? Do you feel jealousy? Do you feel greed? Do you feel frustration? Whatever emotions that comes to you, ask yourself, why do you feel such a way? Okay, because this one will give you the answer. Okay, now instead, when you ask yourself why, please don't give yourself the answer. It's like, yes, that idiot makes me angry. Yes, because once you start pointing fingers outside, you are disconnected from your inner self again. Okay, so this is the best time for you to ask yourself, that idiot cannot make you angry if you do not have anger sit in you. Okay, so what is it that is inside you that makes you, like, how to say, react emotionally in such a way? Ask yourself these questions. Think about your fear, and ask yourself, why do you have this fear? And the chances is that you will find the answer that you need in order for you to have that clarity to move on or to try something new.
So it's also a good time besides Thanksgiving or you know, paying gratitude. It's also a good time to forgive and forgo.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so because you see, once we have this sense of gratitude, once we find the answer that others are not to be blamed but ourselves, right, we will know now to forgive. It will no longer hold on to us as grudges. Okay, so it's naturally we'll forgive, and when we forgive, we let go, and when we let go, we become freer and we can start again. So these are the rituals that we can do on the Friday night itself, because this is not a normal Friday night. And this is not the timing that it comes all the time. In a way, for us to wait for winter solstice, it only comes by once a year. In order for you to wait for winter solstice together appearing with a full moon, it doesn't come by that often. So we have to make the best out of like this particular time and moment, okay, where the energy crosses, that we do the right action so that we can merge into the heaven, earth, man equation to maximize the benefit of it.
好啦，咁樣啊，趁阿 Jessie 咧未繼續落去，仲記得之前
Jessie 而家可以清一清，飲啲薑茶先。
係啦，咁樣即係我哋要 translate 翻。咁其實頭先 Jessie 又講啦，聽日咧即係20號係最好嘅時間，係 light up 你個屋企啦，即係因為呢個係俾自己一個嘅比較光芒嘅時間啊，即係聽日。即係7點之後，但係如果要邊一個係要做一啲 reflections 啊，即係因為拜五嘅啱晚夜咧個音係最長嘅最 extreme，咁我哋就要運用呢一個天地人，唔係每一個時候都有嘅時候咧，
月圓之夜
係啦，月圓之夜，即係人哋講月圓之夜要做一啲月圓之夜嘅嘢啦，即係我哋要吸收呢一個嘅氣場咧。去做一啲 reflection， 咁你要做啲咩咧？拜五嘅最好咧就係9點之後啦，係啦，咁9點之後咧呢個就唔係開燈啦，呢個咧就係盡量就閂燈，係啦，即係盡量，因為係最陰嘅時間嘅，咁呢一個時間咧 keep 住你自己咧係最安靜嘅時間，去同翻你自己同自己溝通啦，咁最緊要嘅咧就係 先要感恩。咁頭先阿 Jessie 有講到點解我哋人係要做感恩。嗱，好似 Jessie 又講咗一個好好嘅 example。如果對方令到你好嬲，但係你自己冇呢個嬲嘅，你基本上係唔會影響到你嘅，因為你已經係冇咗呢個嬲嘅呢一個嘅種子咗啦。所以其實當我哋開始去感恩啊，或者去諗翻有啲咩人係曾經幫過我哋㗎，咁樣你嘅心咧就會比較打開啲。咁你嘅即係我哋叫做比較 accept。即係比較 open minded 啲咧，就係比較可以接受度咧就會比較強啲。
所以對自己都係好事嘅，because 你自己都會輕鬆啲、開放啲，同埋即係打開嗰個胸膛咯。
係啦，咁其實除此之外咧，其實呢個我都有成日做㗎啦，即係好似頭先 Jessie 講得好好啊，我哋要做一啲，即係我哋要對自己嘅 feeling 誠實啊。係啦，咩叫做對自己 feeling 誠實？咁好似我每一晚咧，我都會問我自己，即係我今日好嬲啊！我啱晚夜嗰晚夜，我會問我自己，係我真係好嬲，但係我會問翻自己點解我會好嬲？咁做咗啲乜嘢會好嬲？咁如果再一次同一個情況發生，我可以點樣避免呢一個嬲？係啦，咁如果即係開始。即係你開始諗翻起一啲你對你自己嘅感受比較誠實咗嗰陣時咧，你就開始會揾一啲 answers，係啦，而唔係製造更嬲，但係你會開始揾一啲 answers 去 calm down 你自己。點解嗰個過程入邊令到你咁嬲啊？或者係令到你咁傷心？對我哋嘅 EQ
都係提升嘅，如果你唔會咁容易俾人哋影響你嘅心情，即係少少嘢你就嬲啦，人哋嗰個嘢你又睇唔順眼啊，不過你又唔中意啊。
係啦，但應該可以咁樣講啦，通常嬲嗰一剎那咧，係因為我哋嘅情緒唔穩定，所以先會嬲啊嘛。
其實真係唔關人哋嘅事，係我哋自己的結本身咯。係，
即係我哋情緒，即係我哋情緒波動，所以趁呢一個時間，即係成日最安靜嘅時候，你嘅情緒會比較穩啲嗰陣時咧，即係你會比較清晰啲嗰陣時，可能你諗嘢嗰陣時 self reflection 會更加。好啦，所以呢個時候係最好係做咩咧？即係做一啲meditations 啊，係啦，做 meditation 啊，或者
沖個熱水涼，
或者係yoga 又好啊，或者你平時會念經又好啊，咩都好啦。咁如果你都可以嘅話，就係沖呢個熱涼。
再唔係瞓覺咯，瞓覺都得㗎，但係唔好咁快瞓着先。即係諗下瞓低喺度，再諗下嘢先，
做下個 mask。
係啦，咁再諗下反省翻咁都 OK 嘅。
係啦，咁如果要有呢一個嘅 hot bath 咧，即係邊一個屋企咧，即係你有呢個 hot bath 咧，你亦都可以放一啲自己平時沖涼cinnamon 啊，或者係一啲
嗰個即係就嗰個要翻譯啦。
係啦，
咁個翻譯咧就係 sage 啊，sandalwood 啊。Palo Santo 啊，
係啦，即係你平時沖涼，你會抌一啲 herbs 入去，
燒乜我識翻譯，燒乜叫肉桂，
即係好有香薰嘅嘢啊，或者 essential oil 啊。咁如果真係咁緊要 complicated 嘅話咧，就係用最容易嘅嘢咧，就係你用鹽啦，最好就係。如果有嘅話，就係喜馬拉雅山嘅鹽啦，
係啊，或者 Epsom salt 啦，嗰個唔識翻譯嘅。
咁如果咁可能人哋會問我，咁如果用鹽，我沖咗熱涼，咁我有冇 bathtub 啦？咁我就沖咗熱涼，我就用鹽嚟。
嗱係啦，啱啦，嗱教埋你先，好似你冇 bathtub 嘅話咧，咁你 shower 啊嘛，你 shower 唔知沖乾淨晒嗰陣時咧，就攞個鹽去省下咁咯。咁嗱，其實省嘅時候咧，其實用鹽即係你哋沖涼啦。嗱，最緊要咧，我哋要省到我哋個火位，因為咧講英文啊，OK。Now the most important thing, one thing she brought up is like very interesting is because she mentioned about the bath itself. I know she's getting ready to actually buy salt and like bathe herself with salt. Okay. Now when we scrub ourselves with the salt, right? Okay. Now the most important thing is we have to pay attention to our fire portal, okay, the fire portal in our body itself, and make sure that we cleanse that portal. Because once the fire portal is like closed up or covered, that is when the fire energy of a person itself will also be affected. Therefore, right, they say a lot of like Chinese may say, they don't like people to like tap their shoulder. Okay, when they say, especially people who gambles and all that, right? They don't like people to tap their shoulders. Or you go into like deep forest and all that, you shouldn't tap the shoulder because the shoulder is also the part where we say that is a fire portal in a person's energy level. Okay, so there are few areas. Okay, now fire portal is like the shoulder, right? The shoulder here is like two sides that we remember. You have to scrub it with salt, and then another one is the most yin area, which is at the back. Now the front is the most yang, where is the heart chakra is, but at the back of the front, which is the most yang, always consists of the most yin. The most yin means at the back center of our body itself. Now, some of us might not be able to reach that part. 都 仲得地。Okay, you might need some help. Okay, so if you have someone there to help you to scrub, okay, it will be a good intimate moment.
Yeah.
It will be also a good time for bonding as well. But if you're alone, then you can make sure that you have those like no scrubber to help you to scrub it, right? Make sure because the
不
back
求人係嘛？
係啊，不求人嘅。Okay, so it's like the sponge and all that, which is like with a stick, so that you can reach. Now, it's very important to reach the center of our back. Means you imagine that this is your heart chakra, exactly at the back. That is the area that you need to actually scrub with salt as well.
所以最緊要嘅部位咧就係我哋嘅膊頭位啦，
Yeah.
同埋我哋嘅 heart chakra， 即係我哋嘅心臟啦，心
背後
啊，同埋
最陰嘅地方。
係啦，
即
最陰嘅
係
地方。
中間呢度有一個好，即係有個圓嘅凹落去嘅正後邊。
actually 唔係佢軟嘅落去，其實係呢一度高啲嘅。
高啲嘅。
Okay, alright. So 係最後邊啦，總言之背脊啦。
即係最陰
你唔
嘅地
share
方。
嘅成背脊散晒佢啦。
係啦。
Okay.
咁但係
And you have to pay attention to all these areas is because this areas itself is where the fire energy or the most yin area. And of course, other than that, right, okay, our forehead. Forehead is also fire element. Those of you who studied Menxiang, you will know face reading. Forehead and also our crown chakra. Okay, so it will be good for us. Let's say, for instance, you can dissolve the water into like salt water and you can like splash it over your head so it cleanses all the way up to down. But after that, don't forget to take some salt and scrub it over the bottom of your feet. Okay, always remember when this is the most yang, the bottom will be the most yin. When this is the most yang, the back will be the most yin. So you want to actually go into the most yin area and to cleanse it as well because all this will be done. When I say yin energy, doesn't mean that, right, you see and there's like 有鬼仔. It's not that. It's just that negative energy that gets stuck at this area, chances will be higher. So you make sure that you scrub all these areas with salt that will help to clean our body entirely. And of course, some of you like say like since you already know that the flower bath ritual that we've talked
係啦，
about
啱
earlier
啱
this
阿
year.
Justin 就問啦，可唔可以用 flower bath？
Yep, you can. Right? So those of you who know the flower bath ritual, you can use the flower bath. But the flower bath needs to come after the salt cleansing. You have to use the salt cleansing. You see, flower bath signifies spring. Okay, it's like opening, it's spring, it is like blossoming. But if you don't clear up your negative energy, nothing will blossom. Okay, it's like things can't grow because it gets stuck to it. So always remember you have to clean the body first. Either you use sage or you use all the Palo Santo oil or whatever. You clean it first or you scrub it with salt first. Like then after that only you actually shower yourself with the flower water. Okay, 沖花水。
係啦，咁樣即係頭先阿 Jessie 講到最緊要咧，如果邊一個係用鹽嘅話咧，
Thank
即
you,
係
Stephanie. She's doing the translation.
Sandalwood
香
Okay.
係啦，咁即係如果你係用 salt 嘅話咧，就記得要擦一擦，即係自己嘅膊頭，即係其實我唔係講膊頭，即係我哋身體入邊係最陰嘅地方啦。
唔係膊頭亦唔係最陰嘅地方，但係膊頭係最即係火啊！即係佢
火
有火輪啊，火輪即係就 fire 嘅
OK， 火輪嘅地方，即係
係啦
我哋嘅膊頭啦，同埋我哋嘅背脊啦，
係啦，
係啦，
背脊係
同埋我哋
最陰㗎啦。
嘅額頭係屬
額頭係火嘅
係啦，
啱啦
同埋我哋嘅呢一個嘅 crown chakra
啱係啦，
係啦，最緊要就係我哋嘅腳
即係如果你哋係中意
天頂啊
天敵或者你叫百會啦，你即係如果你喺脈搏嗰方面咧，呢個百會位嚟嘅。OK，所以喺呢啲位嗰度咧，就即係攞即係鹽 clean 水咧會比較好
同埋我
啲。
哋嘅腳板
腳板
係啦，
底
腳板底，因為腳板底好多時候係有時候會忽略嘅地方嘅，
係，亦都係陰嘅地方。
係啦
所以 that's why if you see right, these are the areas that you can actually absorb negative energy out. If you see traditionally people having flu or whatsoever, right, they might ask you to like cut ginger slice or onion slice and all that, and they like stick it onto the bottom of your feet and wear a socks over it, so that this particular herbs itself can help pull the negative energy. And you will find that a lot of people find that it is like you'll feel better after that.
好多時候佢哋去濕啊，
係
即係去濕都係即係腳板底嗰度，你入風都係腳板底入嘅。
So always remember these are the areas that you have to pay attention to and you have to clean it.
係啦
Okay, clean it with salt.
咁咁樣做咗呢一個嘅 salt water 之後咧，你先可以沖呢一個花涼啦，因為花咧即係代表 blossom 啦，所以代表 blossom 嘅話咧就會變成，即係你一定要做呢個程序咧，一定要驗咗先係花啦。咁我哋就講咗好耐呢一個嘅冬至嘅來源啦。
尤其是呢個星期五愛做嘅嘢
係啦，
啦。
咁樣大家都知道呢個星期五要做啲咩？咁其實我哋冬至係最緊要食啲乜嘢啊？
食湯圓。
係啦，食湯圓啦。咁樣我哋講翻
我哋食咗啦
係啦，我哋食咗啦。咁其實咧，冬至咧喺唔同嘅國家咧都係有唔同嘅續集嘅，即係好似打個譬如，因為 北方咧係會食餃子嘅。咁頭先我就係上網就抄一抄，原來點解要食餃子？因為咁啱冬至呢個時候咧，即係喺呢一個嘅地方啊，北方咧有一個醫生，叫做張仲景醫生咧，咁佢就因為好窮啦啲人，所以咧佢就整咗呢個餃子俾佢哋食嘅，即係餃子入邊有冬菇啊，比較養生啲嘅嘢啊，所以點解北方嘅人咧就會食餃子嚟紀念佢嘅，因為咁啱係響冬至嘅日子。咁好似我哋就食湯圓啦，
南方啦，
南方係食湯圓啦，係啦。
純正廣東人都係食湯圓嘅。Okay, so of course now we have actually spent time now the importance why I want to emphasize on winter solstice because this year's winter solstice is like in a way it's slightly different from like previous years because also like somehow that the sun and moon itself, right, transitions of the dates coincides together. Okay, so therefore it makes it even more powerful during this season itself to actually do some cleansing, meditations, and like finding answer within ourselves to prepare us for a better year ahead. Okay, so Friday night itself is a very important night for us to remind ourselves to empower our mind and recharge our soul. Okay, so that we can illuminate our energy field once again. Because you see, sometimes we get like energetically tired, like over time itself due to our stress, our work, our emotions like overwhelming and all that, that we don't realize it that we actually, our soul has been put down. So Friday night itself will be the best night for us to actually empower our mind, means mentality, we relax so that we have the right mindset to prepare ourselves to start the new year. So we recharge our soul, okay, and illuminate our energy field. And that's the purpose of the whole winter solstice, because winter solstice itself means that we want to illuminate back the yang energy. Okay, we want to bring back that yang energy in the environment. Environment itself is where the yang energy comes in. Now we want to make sure that internally in ourselves itself, we also want to illuminate that yang energy out. Okay?
As those that already hibernate for so long.
係啦，其實過咗成年啦，大家都辛苦啦，即係過往即係成年可能發生好多事啦，或者好多情緒啲問題啊，咁係時候就休一休息下，即係 reflect 下，即係 refresh 翻自己嘅mindset 啦，即係再即係準備下一年嘅，即係我哋會開始寫 resolution list 㗎啦，係啦，咁樣就會即係為明年準備更加更好。
Yes, and I'm already very, very excited for next year. Okay, because it's like then, but before next year comes, right, we have to do all this process itself to gear ourselves up, to prepare ourselves, so that we can actually welcome 2019 in a very prepared manner, so that all of us are prepared to receive 2019. So whatever we shared today now is actually based on this winter solstice on Friday night up to Saturday, the things that you can do in order to maximize the energy on that particular day. Okay.
咁其實頭先阿 Jessie 就講到啦，即係其實呢個冬至到明年嘅清明嗰陣時咧，呢一個氣場咧係最強嘅，係啦，因為到
every transitions of the season is the strongest because you see that if you check solar calendar and lunar calendar, it's actually like next to each other.
係啦，咁其實清明嗰陣時咧，點解都係叫做最強嘅時間？因為嗰陣時清係最即係光係最清嘅，所以呢一個即係呢個拜六開始到明年咧係最強。咁喺一個咁強嘅時間入邊咧，我哋應該要做啲乜嘢咧
？Of course, that throughout the duration, that's why I say normally sometimes when I'm busy and all that, I don't have time to do Facebook Live. But this few like months itself, at least these 2-3 months, because Chinese New Year is coming and all that, we need to be back in action because there's so many things that I share. Because all these sharings itself is something that I calculate for myself. I prepared for myself what I do at home and all these things, and then we just share it out. Like I say, those of you who missed it earlier, if you have Christmas tree, you have like Christmas lights to lights up and all that. Tomorrow, the 20th, on the Thursday, 20th of December, will be the best timing, 7 p.m. onwards, okay? Means between 7 to 9 p.m. is the best timing for you to switch on the light in your home, okay? So when you switch on the light in your home, Friday night, 21st December, 9 p.m. onwards is the best time for you, okay? You switch off the light, but you try to switch on the light within yourself, okay? Your internal light, illuminate your soul, all right? That's on the Friday night. And of course, my next Facebook Live, the next coming 2 Facebook Live itself, right, okay? I will also do, like, share with you dates to do spring cleaning, okay? And other relevant topics to keep ourselves, like, you know, away, prepared for the new year. So, like, now see, first thing is we now are doing emotional cleaning. Means this Friday we do emotional cleaning internally. We clean and make sure our energy level is at its best. Then after that, we make sure that our environment, the spring cleaning comes in. And subsequently, of course, I will also share with you how to put back your saltwater cure for 2019, the direction, the time, and all that. But of course, before that, I have to teach you when to take off your 2018 saltwater
係
cure.
啦，其實都好快啦，即係我哋嘅 Facebook Live 都寫有1年咗啦，因為我記得我哋第一次做 Facebook Live 咧，就係講 about saltwater cure 嘅，
Yeah,
係咧，
okay.
即係教大家點樣安飲水。
Yes, yeah.
咁而家咧1年就過咗㗎啦喎，咁我哋係時候就點樣去 remove 翻呢個
Yes, and I
安
know,
飲
right,
水。
okay, there are a lot of you sending me private messages and all that, okay, as in like, oh, when to remove, okay, don't worry, okay, because I need to remove as well, okay, and I know that people around me needs to remove as well. I will definitely find the time and the date itself and share it with you, okay. So now, when we talk about the saltwater cure, now the best timing for you to remove it, okay, is actually in January, okay, not December, January. Now, altogether, I have 3 dates with me. Now, one date itself is not really the best date, but it's usable. Now, January 4th is a Friday. January 4th itself is a Friday. You can remove your saltwater cure in the morning snake hour. So you can start to remove it safely 9:30 a.m. So those of you, let's say Stephanie, if you're still there, all right, I really hope that you can actually summarize this thing and share it on the comments so that everyone can see it and they don't do like, you know, they don't actually pick up the wrong date whatsoever. So January 4th is a Friday, all right, on the snake hour in the morning, 9:30 a.m. Now later, I'm going to teach you how to remove it, what to do with it, okay? But now you get the dates first, okay? So January 4th is a Friday. Now this is not the best date. It is safe, it is good enough for you to use it. Why I need to share this date as a secondary date is because the 2 best dates, the monkeys cannot use. I mean, those of you born in a monkey year cannot use, okay? So now, for this January 4th itself, right, those of you born in the year of the goat, you are not advisable to use these dates. For those of you born in the year of the goat, cannot use January 4th. So you use the subsequent dates, all right? So the next date is January 17. January 17 is a Thursday. This is a better date to use. Definitely much better than January 4th, okay? So January 17, Thursday, right? The timing itself is either 9:30 in the morning, 9:30 a.m. or 5:30 in the afternoon, okay? 5:30 in the evening, all right? Or if you can't use this date, okay, you can also use January 29. Now, January 29 is the best date to use. The best date is January 29. It's a Tuesday. It is best at the time 11:30 a.m. 11:30 a.m. for January 29. Remember, January 17 and 29 not suitable for those of you born in the year of monkey. So if you're born in the year of monkey, don't use these 2 dates. Use January 4th instead. Now, I know some of you will already start asking, no weekend dates. Sorry, no weekend dates, okay? Now, or in the morning, I have to go to work, okay? So do you have anything at night? No. There are some timing which is suitable at night, but I won't suggest it because now we are talking about removing negative energy. So whenever I ask people to remove a negative energy like this, it's best to do it under sunlight. Okay, so if you are asking, do you have any night time so that you can remove it after work? No. So if you can't do it daytime, okay, then you just remove any of these dates after you finish work immediately. So don't bother about even looking at the timing because if you ask me any good timing at night, I won't suggest. Okay, all right.
So the latest time, if they really want, is 17th of January, Thursday, 5:30 p.m.
Yeah,
that is
okay,
the latest.
5:30 p.m. Okay, that's the latest. If you can't do it on your own, ask someone else to remove it for you.
Right.
And of course, okay, now clash what? Okay, CK was asking clash what? Now, January 4th, the Friday, clashes with goat. So goat cannot use, January 17 and 29, these 2 days clashes with monkey. So monkey cannot use. All right, so remember, I'm sure someone that Brenda already, yeah, thank you Brenda. Brenda already summarized it, okay? All right, so so some of you here, maybe you want to also like summarize the dates itself so that all of them can actually see the dates. Now, these are the only dates that is best to remove the saltwater cure. For whatsoever reason you can't use any of these dates or any of this time, then you just have to just remove it alright? Whenever you feel like removing it. Because you see, when it comes to date selection, right, to be very honest, date selections is one of the most tedious subject. Okay, it's like I do feng shui, I do party consultation and all that, and I do date selection, and date selection is something that I dislike most because it's very tedious and I have to go through a lot of process into finding a date. Okay, all right, it's not that you just open up the calendar, pop this date, all right, because we have to look into a lot of the stars in order to make sure that that date itself is good. It also needs to look at the party of the date, means the pillar, the 60 jiatzi of the date itself, whether it is suitable to be used. Okay, now why I say the January 29 is the best date, because that day itself, right, okay, just share with you, it's a Ping Yin day. It's a Ping Fire Tiger day. For those of you students here who understand party, right? That Ping Yin day itself, of course, all these days are, how to say, remove days. You want to remove negative energy, of course, you have to choose remove days. That's standard. Okay? And Ping Yin day on the 29th is the best day because the Ping Fire is on top. When you want to choose a day, of course, you want to choose a day where the Ping Fire is on top. Because Ping Fire, as they say, right, when the sun rises, it diminishes all negative energy. So, and not only the Ping Fire is on top, it's a Ping Yin, it's a very supportive, supported and strong Ping Fire, because Tiger is the growth of Ping Fire. Okay, and not only that, and you see that because you see, later on I will also disclose to you a day, okay, to put on the new saltwater cure for 2019. Now, when we see all these dates itself, right, we want a date that is good enough, okay, to also have a combination. Means that date itself, this particular day, has a connection with the year. If you look at Ping Yin, right, the Yin has a direct connection with the dog year, which forms Yin Wu Shi, means it heightens up the fire energy, and fire is the only element out of the 5 elements that will actually help us to, how to say, transform negative energy. Okay, fire is the one that transforms negative energy. And because the Yin also have a connection with the upcoming year, which is the pig, because the Yin, tiger, and the pig is also a combination. So therefore, Ping Yin is the best date. Now, if you can use it, use it. If you can't, use the rest of the 2 dates, either one. Okay, so I hope you understand. That's just a brief, how to say, explanation on why that date itself is the best date.
係啦，咁樣我哋就 recap 翻啦，即係如果你要，即係如果你要攞起呢一個嘅鹽咧，即係最好嘅呢3個日子，即係3個入邊咧有2個係最好嘅，另外一個咧唔係話唔係最好，不過都可以用嘅。OK，咁第一個日子咧就係1月4號啦，就係拜五嚟嘅星期五，咁就係向呢一個9點半嘅早上啦。OK， 咁樣即係如果你係呢一個嘅羊年出世嘅人咧，就唔可以用啦。不過就算係 clash 你都可以揾一個唔係羊年出世嘅幫你 remove 嘅。OK，咁另外一個咧就係1月17號9點係啦，星期四係9點半嘅，最遲係5點半，即係呢兩個。即係有2個時辰俾你啦，即係9點半，一個5點半。係啦。咁呢一個咧就係邊一個係屬呢一個嘅馬騮咧就唔可以用嘅。咁最好嘅日子咧就係1月29號，which is 係拜二嚟嘅。拜二咁就係早上11點半啦。咁樣頭先阿 Jessie 就有解釋啦。咁除咗之外咧，其實係冇其他日子啦。係啦，
即係最好嘅日子已經俾晒你啦，即係呢個17同29。
So don't private message me and ask for any alternative dates, because it's not that, you know, I just pick a date and okay, like use this one. It's not that, because we want to choose the best date. If you can use it, use it. If you really can't use it, don't worry. We do whatever that we can. Okay, don't worry. You won't get into a disaster because you cannot get the good dates. And why I have to give January 4th is for the monkeys to use, because the monkey cannot use 17 or 29. Okay, so but the thing is, if you are born in the year of monkey, you can still use 29 as long as your family have someone who is not born in the year of the monkey to do the remover.
係啦，
咁我哋就講到三個日子咯，4號、17號同29號，即係1月㗎啦。所以最好嘅日子係29號嘅，但啱啱好咧就17同29咧都係衝馬騮嘅。所以嗰啲屬馬騮嘅話，如果你真係
沖嘅話你就
沖嘅話
揾另外一個人
就所以我哋俾你4號啦。
唔係，你都可以揾另外一個人幫你攞走佢嘅。所以老細，如果你有睇 FB Live，唔係嗰日咧，我應該會 on leave 嘅早晨。
黑啲嘅啫，黑啲嘅啫。
冇啊，唔會黑啲嘅。我一 remove 咗，我即刻翻嚟翻工。係啦，咁樣其實係咁其實點解阿 Jessie 講29係最好咧？因為29號嗰一日嘅日子啊，係我哋即係 Metaphysics 嚟講咧係丙寅。丙寅咧即係火。
丙寅
即係阿丙。
丙寅。
嘅丙寅。你即係嗰一日嘅 pillar 咧係丙寅 day，咁即係呢一個嘅陽光咧係最 bright 嘅時候，咁我哋要 remove 我哋自己嘅呢一個安飲水咧，就一定要揀一個比較bright 啲嘅時間，即係太陽出嚟太陽嘅時候去 remove 嘅，因為太陽即係已經係
化萬煞，
係啦，化萬煞啦。
所以你睇到嗰個時間咧，師傅都係冇俾你嗰個即係夜晚嘅時間嘅，即係你做完工翻嚟咧，如果你真係就唔到啦，又攞唔到假啦，你即係做完工翻嚟你就即刻攞去。
係啦，就唔好睇時間啦，唔好理佢啦，即係冇辦法。如果真係攞唔到假就冇辦法啦。OK， alright. So now the next thing is how to remove. Okay. So now how to remove it is very easy. On the date, the stipulated date and time itself. When the time comes, okay, you can actually take the whole saltwater cure itself carefully. Okay, right, carefully remove it to an area where you can wash it. Okay, now wash it means, let's say if your house itself got a garden, you can actually do it in the garden, or let's say if your balcony is big enough, you can do it in the balcony. Now, normally I will prefer if your house has a yang area, means that the area that you wash it, it can actually have sunlight penetrating to, it will be the best area for you to do so. But for some reason, if your house somehow that it's like an apartment where you do not have a balcony, you don't have a garden, okay, or you have probably you can do it in your bathroom, okay. So if you have no other choice, then do it in your bathroom. But at least try to actually use the bathroom, which is of course firstly spacious enough because it depends on how big is your vase, okay. And secondly, preferably a bathroom with the most sunlight that can go in.
If I compare, right, kitchen and bathroom to remove, which one would be better?
Whichever that has a better sunlight. Okay, but the thing is, if your kitchen, right, you have to make sure, because when you remove it, the procedure is, because my house I use a vase which is this big, this wide, okay, so it's like I use a lot of salt inside. So when you removed it, right, okay, so you have to make sure you slowly throw the water away if you still have water, because it really depends on the situations. And later I'm going to talk a bit on like how your saltwater cure has evolved into. And what does it mean? Okay, but now it's like some of you might not have much water left, but you have like all these crystals of salt itself like growing all over the vase. So you have to carefully bring it there, pour out the water if you still have. If not, right, just make sure that you remove, okay, remove. If you find it's a bit hard to remove, you can put a bit of water inside if it's too dry, okay. If it's too dry, means all the while you have not been replenishing water into your salt water. So cure, remember your saltwater cure always needs to slowly replenish water. Okay, to make sure there's always water there for activation. So you just make sure that you take out all the salt and pour it into a rubbish bag that has been lined with like newspaper. Okay, pour all the salt into the rubbish bag itself and then throw, like, cover it up and throw it. The vase is reusable. Now, some of you put some metal plates at the bottom. If you put metal plates, the chances is the metal plates might not be able to use again because it would have been rusty by now, okay? But if it's very clean, you can still reuse it, it's fine, okay? So when you pour it out, wash the vase itself. When you wash it clean, and you can put it aside. Now, if you have somewhere that you can actually like jemo baju, when you dry your clothes, right? Okay, your balcony or whatever outside in the garden. Now, put your vase outside to the sun so that it dries it. At the same time, recharge it with yang energy, means the sun energy. Okay, just leave it out there. If the plate is reusable, you can do the same. If the plate is not usable, don't keep it. Just like throw it away or throw into recycle bin or whatsoever.
係啦，咁樣咧講到頭先阿 Jessie 係我哋點樣去 remove 呢一個啦。首先咧就揀一個比較陽嘅地方啦，陽氣比較重嘅地方，即係
太陽曬到嘅。
係啦，太陽曬陽，咁即係唔好再問kitchen 好啲啊定係咩啦？總之 whichever 係太陽最多嘅地方啦，因為你需要 mitigate 呢一個唔好嘅氣啊嘛，係啦殺氣啦。
即係如果你係 landed property 嘅話，你又喺屋企出邊嘅話，嗰啲院子嘅話，你就可以喺嗰度咯。如果你係住 condo 嘅話， 其實咧，你 in a way 你得兩個地方嘅啫，unless 你有 balcony 啦，
係
即係因為廁所同埋 kitchen 啦，
係啦，
所以你揀一個最陽嘅地方嚟 remove 啦。
係啦，咁樣你點樣 remove 咧？即係你將呢一個嘅 salt water 入邊嘅水咧，慢慢倒咗出嚟先。咁最記得咧，即係唔好以為啊成個鹽咧，即係倒落浪間咧，佢就會溶嘅。其實係佢係唔會溶嘅。
啱啦。
係啦，佢唔會溶嘅，佢反而會塞住咗啲。
你冇塞住樓下你嘅 neighbour 你都。
係啦。
Okay, yeah. So it's very important. Remember, don't pour the salt into the drain or just pour it down your sink and all that, because you see, because we are talking about like huge amount of salt. I'm not sure about how big is your saltwater cure, but my own saltwater cure is huge. Okay, so don't pour all this salt into your sink or your drain, because it really depends on the amount of water that your drains go through every day. Because if not, this salt water will actually clog up your drains, because it will dries up and it will start to grow inside. So eventually your drains will be clogged up. So remember, all this salt needs to be put into a rubbish bag and to be thrown away.
Wrap with the newspaper.
係啦，即係你要攞呢個 plastic bag 或者你呢一個嘅垃圾袋咧，你一定要放一層報紙先啦，咁你先倒入去啦，倒咗入去之後你再掉咗之後再洗。洗完咗之後咧，就一定要放喺一個比較有太陽嘅地方咧，就曬乾佢 recharge 啊，即係好似
俾佢吸收啲陽氣。
係啦，俾佢吸收多啲陽氣。咁如果你係有碟啊，咁如果你碟可以用嘅話，就可以用啦。好似我嘅已經係。
When I say 可以用，唔係攞嚟用嚟食飯，呢用翻 for next year。
係啦，用翻 for 你放呢一個安飲水嚟用翻啦。咁好似我嘅就已經係生鏽咗啦，咁係直頭係唔可以用就要掉啦。咁呢一度咧就呢一個Angie 有問啦。咁如果我
Hi Angie，sorry 啊，打招呼先，其實好多人要打招呼噶啦。Sasa hello，Brenda，thanks for translating。Okay, wait, Mitra is there. Hi. Just now I see David, also David from KK. Hi, thanks for joining. Hi, Chen King Hao is there. Hi. Yeah, send my regards to Mavis. And yeah, okay.
OK，
yeah。
咁啊 Angie 咧就話就問啦，咁如果佢嘅 saltwater cure 即係安飲水放喺 office 嘅話咧，係咪一樣咧？其實都係一樣嘅。
Yeah, hi Angie, the same thing. If the saltwater cure itself is placed in the office room, the same procedure. You can still keep back the vase, okay? The not plastic, the glass, okay? The glass vase you can still keep it back. But whenever you wash it, you just have to be remember just handle with care. Especially nowadays, right? When you buy the vase, right? You bought it like IKEA or where was it? We recommended
SSF.
Yeah, SFF and all these things, right? Okay, so the vase itself can be very fragile. So when you wash it together with the salt and all these things, and sometimes it can stick on it, you have to be very careful, because I don't want you to break it and hurt yourself. Okay, so just pay attention. You have to be very careful and alert when you're doing this. Okay, because or else you can actually chances of breaking the vase and like hurting yourself will be there. Okay, so just make sure that you are very alert and careful when handling this.
係啦，咁樣Brenda 就問啦，咁如果我哋可唔可以 reuse？即係我哋就係
not the salt. Yeah. Okay, Brenda, you asked whether you can reuse the salt, right? Okay, even the salt or just the vase. Just the vase. Even the vase itself needs to be properly cleansed. It means you have to clean it thoroughly, all right, so that no salts are still sticking on it. Okay, clean it thoroughly. Now, it will be relatively easy to clean one, because once you put water for a while, soak for a while, right, it will all like pieces and pieces will come out. So you clean it thoroughly, and yet you have to put outside into a yang energy area. It means under sunlight to dry it and to like cleanse it energetically. Okay.
我需唔需要用好似即係番緊水啊，或者係咩嚟洗？
Yeah, you don't have to use soap, alright, one thing, because it's like no point using soap, because the salt itself is stronger than the soap, okay? Alright, so you don't have to really use soap, okay?
So
because putting soap also very dangerous because it's slippery.
Yeah.
Okay?
So most important, we soak it so at least the residue actually just dissolve.
Yeah, so if you cannot just cleanse it straight away, is that gets too hard and too dry, you just put the whole thing onto your balcony or onto your garden where the yang energy is there, and just like fill it up with water to soak it. Okay, right? It can be soak it overnight or soak it 1-2 days until it softens up. Then only you wash. But once you remove from the place, means from your 5 yellow place already, you can slowly wash. However you want to wash, you can slowly wash. No worries with
so
that.
we have enough time.
So you don't have to like immediately wash it. For those of you who are working, right, you can just remove it and soak it, and then you go to work, and then you come back and wash it at night and all that. It's fine. Okay, but preferably you throw the salt on the daytime and the stipulated time. Okay, the salt cannot be reused, even though it still looks usable. or still looks good, don't reuse the salt, okay? All salt needs to be thoroughly cleansed, okay? So that when I give you the new date for next year and the new location with the timing, you have to prepare yourself to buy new salt and replenish it.
係，因為我知道人哋一定之後會問㗎啦，嗰6個銅錢啊，點樣？係咪一齊掉？
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, good thing. Now, the 6 coins inside, okay, you can wash it and you can keep it again, same thing, like dry it, means soak it under the sunshine. Means you can actually lay it out and dry it under the sunshine. If it's still usable, you can use it, okay? Some, if it's a very thin, very fine coins, right, you might see that it gets really rusty. Okay, it might get rusty and all that you might not be able to use it. Means it's covered by all those rust, then you don't use it anymore. If it still looks good and all that, you just wash it and you can still use it.
係啦，爭啲都唔記得有嗰6個銅錢。
Yeah.
OK 啦，我可以慳翻我3溝錢。
係啦，
我
咁樣
用咗
呢一個 Brenda 就
But
問
remember, if you want to reuse anything, it needs to be out there and soak under the sun energy. You have to like sun it, you have to dry it, okay? All right, and then after that, when the new dates comes in, then you can use it.
係啦，咁 Andrew 就問啦，咁我可唔可以即係掉咗個水之後，我再攞翻入嚟洗咧？其實應該係冇咩問題嘅。但係最緊即係佢問，即係如果我鋪咗我嘅水響 balcony， 即係我攞翻嚟屋企入邊再洗，呢個 OK 冇啊？
What do you mean? Pour balcony?
You pour the water
no
the
problem.
balcony，
Yeah, no problem.
係啦，咁其實最緊要咧就係最好就係你響呢一個時辰咧，你係掉咗嗰個呢一個
個水同鹽
嗰個鹽係啦，咁你啱晚夜你再翻嚟洗都係冇咩問題嘅。
But I have to forewarn all of you here one thing I need to highlight. Okay, I have not gotten the date for next year's placement of saltwater cure yet. But there will be a slight chance it might fall on the January 29. So if it falls on the January 29, right, you might need to have an additional vase. Okay, all right, or unless you can actually wash your vase quick enough to use it
咁
back.
咪揀17號咯。
I mean, but
但係
29 is
最好
the best to
係最
remove.
好
Yeah, 29 is the
29
best to remove. Okay, so this is one thing that you might want to pay attention to. And of course, the new date will be out way before the date of setting up. Okay, so you just have to pay attention. For those of you who, if you have not subscribed or turned on the notification on your Facebook, on my Facebook Live, please do turn on the notifications, because my Facebook Live nowadays will actually not only on Tuesday, it will be either of the day in a week. But we will have weekly Facebook Live from now on. It's just that I have to actually adjust to my schedule as well. So I can't commit on Tuesday night only. Like for instance, like today we have to do it on a Wednesday. And next week, most probably we'll have to do it on a Thursday. Okay? So I still need to actually adjust to my schedule. So it will be good for you if you want to tune in, make sure that you turn on your notification. Okay? So whenever I go live, you get notifications out of that. Okay? So, any questions? Oh yeah, some of you actually asked, like you post that. I would really appreciate it if you can post your your saltwater cure, the photo onto either this post live or the post notification that I updated earlier on. Okay, I think Stephanie posted your saltwater cure. Now, different areas will definitely impact the saltwater cure itself. Okay, now some, like let's say for instance, I have someone who actually put the saltwater cure on the ground floor and also the first floor in the bedroom. Okay, but when I do the feng shui and house examining for the person itself, right, I already say the bedroom at the back, okay, is the worst location. 5 yellow. Downstairs is a kitchen. Exactly same 5 yellow, north sector. But the bedroom is the worst area. And he actually put 2 saltwater cure in the bedroom and also in the kitchen. But the outcome after the year itself, right, the kitchen one still looks good, okay? But the bedroom one is really, really the salt grows all over the place. Not only that, it becomes very rusty and is very, very dirty. Now, the dirtier or the more sarchy that room has, okay, more negative energy the room has, the more, dirtier or contaminated your saltwater cure will become. And of course, this client also, in a way, it has helped somehow, because that bedroom, the parent stays in the bedroom, and of course, the father has been re-diagnosed with cancer. Okay, now, luckily, right, it has not spread, because looking at the party, chances of spreading is very, very high. But luckily, right, okay, the latest news is the colon cancer has not spread. Okay, but you can see because of this, right, that room saltwater cure has really turned. I will try to get the water. I will try to get the photo. If I can get the photo, I will just share it on my Facebook under the comment there, so you can actually have a look. So different areas with different energy itself, right, your saltwater cure will come out differently. Okay, now you see every house has a 5 yellow. Like this year, because every house will have a north sector, so every house has a 5 yellow. But you see, the 5 yellow in every house differentiate depending on the external sachi of that particular house. If your house outside, the energy is not clean, your house 5 yellow will be greatly impacted by it. So doesn't mean all of you, when you put the saltwater cure, all will be like dirty and rusty. So only some will. It means that that area itself really have a lot of sachi or negative energy, and most of the time it is impacted from the external energy that comes in. Okay, so that explains why like some saltwater cure, if it's erected or set up correctly, why some has like very clean, no problem at all, but some is like really very dirty and like it grows all over the place. Okay?
OK，咁其實頭先 Jessie 又講啦，咁唔同嘅人嘅嗰個嘅 salt water 咧，佢有唔同嘅效果嘅。咁如果你放一啲地方係沙珠比較勁啲嘅地方，咁佢就會越嚟越即係邋遢，或者有啲係會生鏽嘅。所以係唔同會有唔同嘅 effect 啦。
Yeah. Now Brenda actually like posted, Brenda Lu, you also posted your photos. Thanks for it, right? Okay. I saw that you say that the saltwater cure upstairs looks quite pretty. Yeah, it is pretty, but not sure if it's good. Now this is not to say bad. The bad means, right, it becomes rusty color. You know, you have like patches of like rust. Okay, like very yellowy, dark yellow. Okay, so that is really bad. This one means there are reactions to it. Now where else downstairs one, right, nothing happened except for some dead salty bugs. That one, yeah lah. Okay, that one definitely have. Okay, so now the downstairs one means there are minimal reactions, but the upstairs, okay, upstairs one has a lot of reaction. Now normally this happens around in an environment where there could be like, you know, when it is actually like interacting or how to say, neutralizing a lot of negative energy, the salt water cure will look like this, which is on your upstairs one. It means in your upstairs, whether it's your room or the 8 rooms in your upstairs level of your house itself, right, have a lot of negative energy, but it is not extremely bad. It is negative energy, but it's not extremely bad because it doesn't really turn rusty yet. I can't see any rust here yet lah. Okay, but if it's like this, means they are interacting to clear the area. Okay, means they could be, let's say for instance, people who often fall sick, or have past histories of like certain sickness that is recovering, then you will have this, or also like highly affected emotionally. Means that people are like even like empath and all that, they are very sensitive to emotion. People who are very sensitive to emotions, every day that you go out, you tap onto other people's emotion, and you go home when you sleep, right, the saltwater cure will actually help you to neutralize and to cleanse all the emotions that you have actually attracted from like your environment during the daytime. Therefore, it will actually end up like this. So Brenda, I suspect whoever that's sleeping in this room or is a room or something on the upstairs, you do have in your household people who are also highly emotional or highly easily attract other people's emotion. Okay? Alright.
OK，
So
咁頭先阿 Jessie 你有講翻啦，即係呢個安任水，即係唔同嘅有唔同嘅 effect。OK， 咁即係如果係越多嘅話咧，即係代表佢可能佢嘅 external 沙珠係會比較勁啲嘅。
係
，OK，
咁樣佢都係即係 depends 你嘅屋企嘅嗰個即係 because 每間屋企都係向東係嘛？今年
唔係
向北邊嘅，所以係愛睇你出邊嘅嗰個沙池係嗰個 energy
有幾強，
煞氣有幾強。
因為冇理由間屋個五黃都係咁煞㗎嘛，做咩全世界啲五黃一到咁樣講，佢年都五黃嗰度會影響到唔要嘅，所以你睇翻你屋企其實外邊啲煞氣有幾重咯。咁有啲屋企個五黃其實冇問題，你睇得靚嘅，證明你屋企五黃係唔惡不但止，反而仲係好嘅。OK， 所以咧嗱，每一次嚟講咧嗱，即係安忍水唔一定就係放五黃位嘅，你都可以放喺二黑位。OK，you can actually put not only on the 5 yellow, you also can put on the like no the star 2 yellow. Okay, no the 2 black. Okay, alright. Okay, so you can put at the 2 black star, which is also like a star that actually means illnesses and all that. Okay, so when you put this right, okay, it actually helps to mitigate it, but doesn't mean that every house house itself, right? Okay, whenever this like number 2 star flies into your room, means it needs to be illnesses. Okay, because 2 is also governed by the huge Shaw Mountain, it also represents wealth. Okay, so if it's good, means if your saltwater cure has no reaction and all that, it means that the star 2 area in your house itself, right? Okay, or the star 5 area in your house itself has no Sachi. In fact, they might have positive energy.
So 好多時係 the fundamental look at your external
係
Sachi.
Yeah. Okay, you're welcome, Brenda. Thanks for sharing your photos. Again, those of you who have joined us and you have put up your saltwater cure out of like really like experimental or whatever, right? Do share your photos on my Facebook page in the comments so that we can, all of us can have a look at it, and like, you know, everyone will be different because different areas will have like really different. I will ask this particular person that I mentioned about earlier on to snap a photo of his like saltwater cure, and I will post it on my comments as well. Okay? So I'm not sure whether you have any questions. If you do have any questions, please ask them now. Now, please try not to private message me for questions. So sometimes, mostly I don't look at private messages. Sometimes I look at it, but when I look at the messages itself, it's like loads of questions, okay? I really, it's very stressful for me to actually answer all these questions. So it will be good, let's say for instance, if you can catch me on Facebook Live, if you have any questions, okay, just ask me during the live sessions so that when I answer, many people will benefit from it.
Yeah.
Okay, just like when Brenda actually shared her photos and she asked, like, you know, does it make a difference? How come 2 levels itself exactly at the same place, but outcome is different? So when I answer this, everyone can benefit from it.
係啦，咁樣Pua呢度就有問啦，咁如果即係佢可唔可以掂呢一個鹽咧？即係佢需唔需要用一啲特別嘅
即係手套啊
唔需要嘅 okay?
Okay.
Now, Pua, that's a good question, okay? Because you say, Pua was asking, like, do you have to be extra cautious of the salt itself? Do you need to put gloves and all that? You don't need to, okay? Now, if you want to put glove, only for the reason that's because the salt itself, it can actually, like, it's very strong and it can actually, like, burns your hand as well, okay? So if only for that reason, especially if you have cuts on your hand and all that, you can put gloves, okay? Right, you put on glove, the glove is not for the reason for you to, so that, you know, it will like, how to say, stay away from the negative energy. Don't worry, it's just salt, okay? All right, it's just that you want to put glove only just to protect your hand, okay? So other than that, there's no reason or no need to actually use glove.
係啦，咁樣仲有咧就係 Angie 問啦，咁如果我嘅即係佢嘅嗰個地方咧係 late afternoon sun 嘅 ，is it okay？
咩嚟嘅？
係 late afternoon sun。
得 ，OK 嘅。Late afternoon sun is better than no sun. Okay, still can use it, Angie. And then I think Stephanie asked, unused salt cap last year still can be used for new cure? Yes. Alright, so if as long as it's unused, okay, for last year you buy the big gunny sack or whatever, if it's unused, you can still use it for next year, okay? Only thing is those used cannot be used again. Okay.
Please don't recycle your salt. Whatever is untouched is still in the packet. You can still use it.
You can still use it. And of course, nearer to the date itself, when I share the new date for the saltwater cure, I will also share with you again the procedure or the proper step to set up your saltwater cure. Because I see that a lot of you, when you show me the photo, right, the saltwater cure has not been set up properly because the water, ratio together with the salt is all out. Okay, so I'm going to share that in detail once again, right, once I get the new date. So remember, those of you who have not turned on your notification to follow my Facebook Live, please turn on notification because I will not stick to Tuesday night for my Facebook Live. Because on my schedule itself, it will be like sometimes it will be like tonight, it will be Wednesday. Next week, most probably it will be a Thursday night. Okay, so you have not turned on the notification, I will suggest you please do turn it on so that you will get notified whenever I go live itself.
Okay, 咁樣William咧就問啦，咁how to set up salt water cure 同埋用幾多啦？咁呢一個咧，我哋係會有下幾集咧，我哋先開始會 share 㗎，即係你要點樣 set up 啦。咁如果你呢一個嘅 salt water cure 入邊係好 dirty， 即係呢一成年入邊好邋遢，你需唔需要係唔需要換嘅？係啦，係唔需要換，你可以 leave it to that。咁 Monica 咧就有問啦，如果anything that I put in my house will get dusty in 2 weeks， so how to put salt water cure without the salt water getting dusty?
Okay, now the salt water will get dusty. Now you should see mine. Now, I use my photo to be shared on the Star paper, okay? And somehow I was told that there are some remarks from the readers of the Star that actually commented that the photo is disgusting and it's gross because got hair there. It's my hair, right? Because it's like, I cannot be using for like some copyright reason. I cannot just copy, and Google any salt water cure and use it. So I just sent them my photo, and they didn't really look into detail. But we do have readers which are very particular. I think she must have used magnifying glass to see what is on top of the salt water cure. And I will share that photo with you, okay? All right, on my comments later on as well. And then we got the remarks, it's like, it is gross because got hair there. It's my hair, what to do, right? Okay, so it will get dusty, it will get dirty. But those dust and dirt are not what I mean that impact on the negative energy. It doesn't look like that. That's why, okay, for Monica, it will be good, let's say, because there are some of the people here already, they share their saltwater cure, okay, how it has looked after 1 year. I will also look for this particular person that I mentioned that the father got like cancer. I will ask him to help me to take a photo and share it there as well, so that you can see when I say dirty, right, it's not just dust or hair. It's like really the whole saltwater cure itself becomes very rusty and yellowish. It will turn very yellow, like deep yellow, like your teh-o, you know, like your teh-o color one. Okay, so that is what I mean by the impact of negative energy. Dust and hair is no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
係啦，即係下幾集咧，即係大家記得唔係一定係星期二嘅，所以有陣時即係師傅得閒嘅話咧，佢就會做Facebook Live 噶啦。所以應該係下一集可能係星期四啊，或者係多數應該係星期四啦。
Yeah, but it's not confirmed yet, so I have to really like confirm the time. So actually, Pua Chu Sun here asks like, do we throw the removed salt into the dustbin or need to throw into running water, river and all? Don't throw into the river.
係啦，頭先我哋已經講咗啦。
Because there are so many of you, like probably be like later on, it will be like hundreds of you or more than hundreds of you discarding all the salt water.
係啦，因為嗰個 salt 嗰個鹽咧係唔會溶嘅。
Yeah, don't throw into the river.
It won't melt in the
Okay,
water.
don't throw into the drain as well. For those of you who have missed the instructions, okay, of how to discard off the saltwater cure, I suggest that you re-watch the whole Facebook Live. Okay. Definitely don't miss the first part as well, okay, because the first part, okay, so talk about winter solstice, you will definitely benefit from it. So if you have not you've missed the first part, please like later on read back or watch back the whole entire Facebook Live itself, okay? So thanks Monica.
下一集你會講即係我哋幾時按個印水咯。
唔係下一集。等我揾咗佢啲先，唔一定係下一集嘅。
But
upcoming episode。
所以嗰陣時你都會講點解愛安咯。
係啦。
所以如果你真係太介意，即係有頭髮啊，或者係有嗰啲即係灰塵啊咁樣嘅嘢咧，下一集會即係之後會解釋點解愛安引水，and 點解你講真你真係唔應該去介意嗰個
Okay, we will talk about that, but not immediate next episode itself, okay? Because next episode I will talk about the dates for spring cleaning. Because after winter solstice itself, right, it's the best time for us now. Now, remember winter solstice earlier we talked about is emotional cleaning. It's the best time for us to cleanse ourselves emotionally and energetically. So after this, we'll talk about like environmental cleaning. Means we need to spring clean our house, right? That's why in the Chinese itself, every year, right, after winter solstice, they will look for a date to like spring clean the house itself. So I will share about that, the importance of that, and how to set goal for 2019. All right, based on our whatever visions, what are the things that can help us to make sure that 2019 whatever goals that we have set, we can actually try to keep it. Okay, so that will be for the upcoming Facebook Live, and after that, of course, I will share with you, right, the best date, okay, to actually set up the new saltwater cure, which direction, and what time and location for 2019 as well. Okay, and Sasa, I also see your saltwater cure that you have posted up. Okay, it looks fine to me. Sasa, your saltwater cure looks good. There's only some crystallizations going at the rim, which is totally fine. It is not bad. Okay, their interaction means the saltwater cure is working, but it is like the area itself is clean, so you have not much negative energy around the area. Okay, so if you do have your saltwater cure, please do also share it, the photo, so that everyone can have a look at it. And again, I will still share with you the process of how to set up a proper saltwater cure. As I mentioned, some of you, the ratio of the water and the salt is totally out, because if you don't set it correctly, it's just like science experiment. If you don't set it correctly, right, you won't get the impact or the effect out of it. Okay, so on that, you stay tuned with our upcoming episodes of Facebook Live, which we will do it weekly, but I'm not sure on which day we will go on. If I have time, I will announce that today. Okay, if I don't have time, I will just pop up. All right, so it will be good for you to actually turn on your Facebook Live notification on my page as well, so that you will get notified. And of course, for those of you who have not gotten the ticket to my Feng Shui and Astrology talk for 2019, I will be having that talk in KL. Okay, I'm in PJ to be exact. Okay, on Bentley Music School on January 12th and 13th. Okay, January 12th is the English session. January 13th is actually the Cantonese session. Right, okay, you only need to come for one day. Okay, the contents are almost similar, but it's just that the language is different. Okay, so if you have not gotten the tickets, please do contact, send a message to my either my Facebook page here, or you send a message to Soleil Trinity by Jessie Lee page. Okay, or you actually contact my office. I don't know the contact number yet. I will find it and I will share it on the comment. I forgot the contact number. I know the email. The email is contact@soleiltrinity.com. If you have not gotten your tickets, please do get them. And now we are still having the early bird price, which is 88 ringgit. Okay, so yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sasha. I will see you. Okay, on the English session.
下一集 before 師傅教點樣去安印水咧，就會先教即係大掃除我要做啲咩啦，點解我去做大掃除啦？係一個好重要嘅日子嚟嘅。
咁樣做完咗大掃除咧，咁我哋就會進入呢一個2019年，要開始點樣去 set 自己嘅 goal 啦。之後我哋就會傾一傾呢一個安印水啦。咁其實就一定要守住呢一個 Facebook Live，因為咧
佢唔係一定係星期
日或
者星期三，
會係2018年最後一個 Facebook Live。係。Okay, so stay tuned because next week itself will be the final episode of Facebook Live for 2018. Okay, I'm not sure on specifically which day yet, but I really hope that you turn on your notifications so that whenever we go on live, alright, you'll be notified. Thank you so much for tuning in. Right, wishing all of you here a good winter solstice. 冬節快樂。We eat Tang Yun first, you all eat this Saturday, okay? But make sure, remember to do whatever that I've shared with you on this Friday night. Because this Friday night timing and the energy do not come by easily or that often. It will be a very good time for us to really have a silent night and make it holier than thou. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank
you. 我哋嘅 annual talk 就會係響12月13號，1月12同13號啦。
係1月12、13。如果未買飛嘅，快啲買飛啊！
所以廣東話係13號啦。
OK， 所以而家我哋仲有early bird price 嘅早鳥價
，88
係啦
，800蚊包你發啊！
唔係800蚊啊，88蚊啊！800蚊。OK，thank you，good
night，thank you，good
night，拜拜。Alvin is there. Bye, Alvin.
Wait.
Thank you.